Hello, everyone. Kitty Foss here, your storytelling astrologist, reader of the stars for August 16th and August 17th. I'm going to tell you that August 17th does not have any additional aspects. And I think that that's really because August 16th addresses some really bigger themes that are stepping forward for all of us right now. And in itself, there is a lot of confusion, we're stepping into a different part. So it's almost like August is part of whatever this timeline release is. And even though we've come through the Lionsgate portal, all of those things, this second part of August now starts a whole new dimensional meaning. And all three of our bigger themes are in conversations today on the 16th. Interestingly enough, every month I go through and I pull out my calendar and I highlight, and sometimes a date catches my eye. And already earlier this month, this particular Gemini moon caught my eye, even though it's not a full moon, it's not a new moon, but something about this particular change I highlighted automatically kicked something off, and I hadn't even really looked at the aspects. And as I meditated on them today, it is pretty amazing what today is about. So we had a void of course pretty early on, and then the moon moved into Gemini. And while it was in a void of course, which is about your own moon stepping forward, discernment privately for the self and how we are going to be moving forward was a big part of that for this particular day. And magnifying this will be over this next 48 hours. There's a larger, more focused themes that are being shifted with this Gemini moon. So in the beginning of this month, as I said, I highlighted this moon. A Gemini moon is all about the connections of emotion and intellect and how we blend them together in our adaptability, in our communication, in our knowledge. Gemini is the twin. Gemini is the only personal air energy, personally the way we think. And of course, with this Leo sun, it is about ourselves. And that is a big kickoff on this Gemini moon, this adaptability, communication. This is the sign of the continuum. In other words, as you stand in the middle, you can see both sides of anything at this point. And we're adjusting to our larger themes in this message over this period of time. We have the conjunction with Gemini, of Uranus. We have a sextile with our Neptune that is in a brand new cycle, a brand new spiritual in Aries. We have a trine with our Pluto energy, our Aquarian energy. So this is a lot about how we're thinking about the whole. We're thinking about the vision. We're thinking about how do we spark something new with spirit, and how do we look at that conjunction with our Uranus energy. Those are the three outer planets, the bigger themes. And so this is period steps forward, activating spirit in its own cycle, while vision is transforming us all on how we are changing the personal way we're thinking, the personal things we're questioning, we're letting go of. Communication is a spiritual practice that we are developing. Think about that. Our communication is the spiritual practice. It is the social norm that we are developing and are trusting. What is changing in your communication? What is stepping forth? What conversations of change internally are you working with after that huge energy with our Mercury retrograde, still in Mercury with Leo? What are our passions? What conversations are we engaging in around change? Radical shifts as the moon is conjunct that Uranus energy, that energy of chaos but great awakening. And of course, Uranus is the ruler of that Aquarian energy, and Pluto in Aquarius is also in a background conversation with this Gemini moon. It's an intellectual awakening, and this may leave others behind because it is about thinking. And if we aren't thinking, remember, we aren't our thoughts, our feelings, but if we're not really thinking or questioning or looking at something, if we're not using the internal mechanism, that is part of whatever this diversion that is happening right now in these next few days. Reevaluation of how we think and how we connect. is what is being asked for. These are larger themes that bring a point, and what they said was a point black in our movement forward. In other words, we don't quite know what it is. It is the trust and the step into the darkness to find the light. Faith breakthroughs in thinking. This information age and the management of these are our new understandings that are stepping forth with these bigger themes. Breakthrough in our thinking of what reality is and what is stepping forward for us. So take care of yourself over these next couple days. As we get ready on the 18th, we do have the moon that will move into Cancer, where it's very powerfully looking at how we've been thinking. But pay attention to your communication, your self-communication, think about how you want to say things. And this is a great time for the pause so you can look around. I'm Kitty Foss, your storytelling astrologist. I'll be back on Monday the 18th. Namaste.